All right, I think I'm live. Well, I just was able to get some food, and as I was eating, the package I was waiting for all day showed up. I got a brand new PC, which I will probably set up later. There's still, I got to clean this space up, and I'm going to totally reroute all my packaging. So right now, I'm just going to put this keyboard together. And yeah, maybe something else. There was another package that I might do afterwards, but at the start I'm going to assemble the keyboard, which will be, you know, the PCB, the switches, the keycaps and everything, and try to remember what the heck I'm doing. I'll map it, and then I will probably do some typing tests on it, do some just tinkering around, seeing how it works. Keyboard stuff. So yeah, I've got the, so these are they're from Drop. They're a sort of a old school throwback colorway. Apparently in the 90s, Cherry did a colorway like this. Not in the SA profile, but in their Cherry profile, to sort of flex that they could print plastic in all these different colors, which was like a big deal. And they're, you know, big, beefy, excuse me, keycaps. I had originally bought them with the idea of building another board with them, but I never got around to it because these took forever to show up. And so actually, the current board that I have here, which has the MT3 Cyber keycaps, I believe that might have been what I was planning to build. But yeah, I've been using a HHKB format. You know, there's no keys here. 60% board. Been using that for a while and working. I really like the HHKB format, but occasionally with games, and really rarely other times, I find that arrow keys might be nice, and maybe dedicated F keys. Specifically, I was recently trying to play, or picked up and started playing Caves of Cud, which already has a steep learning curve, but the Vim keybinds, where basically everything is on you know, the base keyboard main area, it's pretty complicated. And like, I can get to the F keys with function layers, but it just becomes more and more challenging. And so I figured, since I'd had this on order for a long time, I think the initial idea there was to maybe play Toho or something with it, or maybe Cave Story. I've got a ton of controllers here. I've got arcade sticks, and I have a bunch of custom keyboards. And so not only do I like custom keyboards, but I enjoy playing a bunch of different, you know, trying out a bunch of different controllers. I actually had to move a bunch of them out of the way in order to make space to build today, because up until now, I had a PlayStation 3 controller, a PS4 controller, a PSP, and then all the charging cables and everything. I had a Switch controller lying around. What else did I move out? I had a variety of other things around here. So, cleared up some space and gonna build another keyboard. So, yeah, I've got the, came in a nice case, the KeebsForAll Freebird TKL, which is a gasket mount kit. Those keycaps and the Gateron CJ switches. I got a bag of 110 here. They are a light linear switch, real smooth, that are supposed to be, and this was one of the things that interested me in them for trying them out, because I've got other keyboards with other great linear switches, is that they're supposed to be really smooth and good to use without lubrication. And the one thing I found is I really enjoy building keyboards. I really enjoy tinkering and trying out different things. I do not have the patience or the delicacy for taking apart keyboards or for taking apart hundreds of switches and lubing them and everything. It's just not my thing. I'll even spend time messing around with stabilizers, which maybe I'll even end up doing that tonight. But I'm not the guy for lubing switches. And so in actually, I believe this keyboard. Now in this keyboard, I have Water Kings, the V3s, the most recent one, and they're great. In this one, I have alpacas, and I have I think I'm not currently using them, but I have some silent alpacas in a different board that I'm just not using now because I only have 2 computers on this desk. Yeah, no, we're going in dry here. So, without further ado, go ahead and open up this nice case that it came in. So this is actually like a carrying case for the board. It's real nice. There's a PCB and everything. And I got the nice, snazzy E-white case. And so this is like a brilliant, blinding white. I realize that the color fidelity and the camera here is not that great, but that is a exceptionally bright white board. Right. Some foam I can move out of the way. Guess I might. I'll not throw away any of it yet. There's always extra uses for it. So here are my stabilizers. I forget what sort they included, but they had some included as part of the kit, which were pretty nice. Just a real basic, not the most attractive cable. You know, a lot of people get fancy with different USB cables, but I have yet to spend money on one. I might now because my desk space, I can actually display one, but it's not something that makes a big deal to me because it carries the same ones and zeros. It's not even like an analog cable where it like can change signal quality. All right, so I've got these, the rubber band gasket, which is how the how everything is going to mount. We've got some, I assume these are gaskets for inside the frame itself. I'll check that out. And here's my Freebird TKL ANSI keyboard, PCB. So the form, okay, and then I've got a sort of a rubbery layer for going inside the case. What I'm going to do is, because I've gotten so used to the HHKB format, I'm going to do the split backspace, and so backspace goes where pipe normally goes, and then pipe, or the former backspace gets pipe, and right now I have delete, but some people do F13, some people do other stuff. I think I got a novelty key in here. I don't really use the dedicated delete key that much, and honestly, given that a 10 keyless layout has a dedicated delete key, it's not something I really need. Another thing of note is one of the things a lot of people like, and personally I initially liked about 60% boards, smaller keyboards, is they take up less desk space. You notice this one has huge bezels on the side because this is just a stacked acrylic case. It's just a bunch of printed and cut acrylic pieces stacked together. Whereas this aluminum case for 10 keyless, a lot more switches, not that significantly larger. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out of the case. I'll definitely have to go get a tool in a little bit for the stabilizers. All right, got some nice heft to it. It doesn't have any specific weights added to it. Okay, so this is screwed shut. It's just a big chunky piece of aluminum. So I'm gonna go ahead and go grab tool. So hopefully this thing has some charge left in it. I have not used it in quite some time. Seems like it'll be fine. All right, so under here, these are some hex, which I believe are in this kit. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I pre-ordered the kit. I don't remember when, sometime in, hell, I don't even know. It was sometime back in the fall or back in the summer. I can actually check the email now. I'm going to do that and see when I ordered this kit, because it's definitely not something, because I went to their website to look at everything, I thought, hey, it'd be really nice to, well, I just naturally looked at the new products they have and thought, oh, maybe I'll buy one of these for a future project. It's fun to build. Order confirmed on July 6th. Yeah. Seriously. 2021. Yeah, like I said, I'm looking at my confirmation email here from July 6th of this year, and it just showed up a few days ago. And I just now finally got time to put it together. So, which size hex? That is too large. There we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and take this case apart. Yeah, I would probably get in touch with them to see about that, because that's not good to, to wait that long. And I doubt they're doing that intentionally. And I know that in the past, I have not like hopped on group buys historically, just because it's not like they save a bunch of money all the time. You just get to get a custom thing. But I've never, not that I've never spent that much money. It's just I don't habitually do it. And so this was the first thing I've pre-ordered that far out, honestly. All right. Yeah, it is so warm in here. It's been exceptionally cold over Christmas, got down into the single digits, which is not common around here. And has spent several days without going above freezing. Recently, last day or two, it has gone above freezing. But my house, I've had the HVAC worked on quite a few times because I had a variety of issues. Oh, yeah. Small company, please understand. I luckily have not had to harass anyone about anything, and I'm happy for that. Okay, so I see what's going on. So this board has two different mounting options. It can be top mount, which right now, see, this is the top case, and the plate here that has all the holes for the switches is mounted to the case. Actually, come to think of it. Okay, I had to double check. I did order an aluminum plate with this one. I don't remember why. I think if I ordered it now, and unless it just wasn't an option, I'd probably go with the polycarbonate plate. But so be it. All right, I'll just leave that there. And then I will take the plate off here. I think it uses the same size hex. Yeah, group buys are kind of a trap for that, because you know it's so often no refund, just jump in and pay for a product that it's impossible to have seen or paid for or seen or experienced yet. I guess I got I say after I, waited 5 months for a several $100 purchase, got lucky, but I kind of expected that. And, I had other keyboards that could handle. So, this plate does support the split backspace like I'm going for, as well as, what were the other options I was going to do? Oh yeah, on the bottom row, because I've gotten so used to the HHKB layout, oh really, well, I'll remember that in the future, because I did see some items when I looked back on their site that they were, that looked attractive, and I just told myself, right now I don't need to buy another keyboard. I could probably be fine buying another one, but I don't need to, because I've already got, when I was actually pulling some of this out of the closet, I've had these keycaps for a while. I saw a pile of boards that I haven't been using, and so I don't need to muck around with it. Right. So, next up, I think, honestly, unless I'm mistaken, I can probably go into just popping switches in. Oh, stabilizers. That's right. I didn't want to put them on, and so they're not the most fun part, and so that's what I try to avoid thinking about, I guess. All right. So, and then these are not lubricated, and I will have to. I have some dielectric grease. I think I also have some 205 grade 0, and I think I might use that. And I will go grab that out of my closet. Well, lucky me, after all of the solder and foam that I had found, the one thing that I wasn't able to find was a 205 grade 0 that I've had around. So, I'm going to check and make sure. I don't think it's on the desk currently, because I recently sort of rebuilt my workspace and this is a new desk. Well, I suppose there is no none of that, but I do have actually a smaller container of the dielectric grease, and I'm not hyper picky in that regard, and so I will deal with that. I'm not sure if this has already been opened, so I might as well check that. Okay, looks good. And I'm not the most picky or detail-oriented with regards to stabilizer tuning, so if it's greased up, it might be a little mushy for a while, and I'll survive. So we're doing 7U space, and so that's this big long boy. We're doing, we look at this board to remember, left shift and enter. I think those are the only stabilizers I need, because I also do split right shift for an extra function key. And I'll go into more of the layout that I use a little later. We'll get 2 more little stabilizer bars. I'll just go ahead and dumb this out. We'll put back the pieces I don't need. So don't need a shorter space bar. 1, 2. Then get 2 sliders for that. 1, 2. Ah, that's right. I need lube for the sliders, which I'll just do without for now, but so be it. All right. I'm sure I will find the lube I'm looking for later. We only need 2 2U stabilizers, so 1, 2, 3. This back. Maybe I'll use these extra stabilizers for a macropad, numpad build at some point. 2 more sliders, and that should be all I need. All right. So I just roughly assemble these. Okay. I have to remember because I haven't even tinkered with the boards I do have in quite some time. All right. I, again, realize that while I enjoy this, I enjoy reading and finding out about the things I like and tinkering with them. I'm not one with the patience to do it full time. So, these only have, at least take 2 screws each. Okay. Go ahead and I'll go ahead and do it with some switches just so that I can visualize a little better. So we're doing 1.5U on the outside, which does the hot swap socket accept both? Apparently it does. Interesting. Oh, there's a hot swap socket for both orientations. All right. We want the most inboard one. I'm glad that I don't, and I guess it doesn't matter on the bottom row, care about LEDs and orientation, because I just I'm not much into fancy lit RGB boards anyway. And I appreciate that some people have difficulties with switch orientation and different yeah, it's exactly the same. It's like painting miniatures. I love that people love doing it, and I would even like potentially, I watch people doing it. I'm not taking switches apart to do it myself. I've done it a couple times. Maybe I would do it for like a numpad size build, just a few dozen, but I'm not going to do a full board. That's just not my game. Okay. So that's a 1.5U, and then inboard of that, I'm doing a 1U. So, oh, my brain is struggling right now. Oh, okay, never mind. Spacebar here goes like this. That's what I want, because I don't need to mount them all. I'm going to have to pull these switches anyway. Yeah, think of how much more insightful he would have been. He'd had the power of gamer vibes. All right, so we'll go ahead and pop that in. Just to see where we're going. Pop that in. And then okay, I think I see where I'm using these just fine. Let's see. That seems about right. I can't mentally count the units like I was able to when I first started tinkering with keyboards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and then I will take the actual stabilizer bar out and lubricate that. See, that's a problem. That's a problem for maybe Call of Duty gamers. That's not my. I'm not going to have that difficulty with single player stuff. Let's see. This is a tiny. All right, everyone's favorite. I can probably not get this to focus. No, there's no chance. Everyone's favorite screwhead, Phillips. I was just posting or talking to someone earlier, and it was an image that was like, oh, these are all screwheads. These are mental disorders. And among them was, you know, hacks and everything. It's like, no, Phillips head is awful. I hate Phillips head so much. It is specifically designed, and there was justification for this, and there somewhat still is in certain applications, but Phillips head was designed so that it would cam out when the torque got too high so that you wouldn't strip. But unfortunately, that just means that they do, I mean, they do still strip and damage. You just can't torque them in as hard so you don't damage what you're screwing it into. But nowadays it's like, you know, machines and whatever automation should have torque wrenches anyway. All right. So we're good there. Get another washer and another screw. Oh. Stick in my hand. Wash my hands before this. They're just little tiny plastic static electricity machines. All right. Can I actually get a screw in there? I don't know that I can get a second screw in there. Let me just try. See what's going on. Yeah, no, I don't know clearance. But that's fine because the other screw is in there. And it should hold. I say should. You know, I'll trust it for now. But there is a hot swap socket interfering with oh yeah, real ivory keys. People do absolutely go crazy about the specific material that their keys are made of. So the ones I have now, and what is really by far the most common, are ABS. And there's a huge range in the quality of ABS. You know, Drop here was sourcing decent ABS. GMK does, they're sort of the gold standard, historically speaking, of really high-end ABS keys. You know, I think I'll just trust that with a single screw for the time being. I'll pop the stabilizer bar out there. So yeah, Drop and GMK and lots of others use pretty high-end ABS, and there's some cheaper brands that use lower quality ABS. It's just a thing. Yeah, you can absolutely find Lego pieces for keys. People make novelty keys a lot of the time, and so they might have a Lego piece. I don't actually have any on hand. Shamefully, I do not have any in my room right now. But I think a 2x2 Lego piece would actually fit a 1U key pretty nicely. And so, like I said, people will do custom novelty keys, and they'll usually put it on like Escape or something. You wouldn't want it on something you generally type on, but a Lego novelty could go pretty well. Okay. So the next one will be return. Enter here. Go ahead. Don't need the bar to figure out where these go. Find the there. And I believe I remember reading that there was they had some warning about switch placements for ISO, but the ISO keyboard layout with the ISO with the tall enter key is an abomination. It's terrible, and whoever came up with it should be ashamed. But that's just how the other half lives. All right, just not fitting quite. Okay, so we got this stabilizer in. Let's grab a screw and a washer. This is easily the slowest part of the process. After this, it should be smooth sailing. Luckily, you generally only have to do this once, unless you really are a glutton for punishment and just love trying new stabilizers. One thing I also like about having this one thing I also like about having the electric screwdriver here is, you know, it stops at a consistent torque, basically. And that changes. It has more torque, more oomph, depending on the charge. But regardless, it's secure enough that it's not going anywhere, but it's also not so secure that I'm stripping out or damaging anything. Okay, and then right shift. That's right. So this guy. Go ahead and pop those extra switches out. Those over here, since I'll still be using them. And that goes like so. Oh, it's a tight fit. Come on. Right in the other one. There we go. Just took a little bit of extra wiggling and convincing. Not forcing it, because I don't want to damage anything. Yeah, no, he's a good. Holy shit! I put it in there. I screwed it to the board without the sliders. Yeah, his keyboard videos are great. He's a big fan of tactile switches, which I like, but in general, and I think for certain gaming applications, I think in general, tactile switches are fine for gaming. But for certain times, you want to do just like the most precise keyboard input or the quickest response. I think the case for linears is stronger there. But again, his concern is also not gaming so much, and I appreciate that. But sort of as a result of trying them out, yeah, so he's made custom keyboards for a lot of people. Him and Teha, the guy named, his channel is Teha Types, who shockingly for a guy who got into keyboards was a software engineer. almost dropped and lost a screw, which would have been impossible to find because my rug down here is not colored with enough contrast for a sort of gold colored screw. Pop those out, get those sliders in. Yeah, that's right. Out, get the slider in. All right. And I probably will end up disassembling and taking these stabilizers out at some point. Well, maybe. I'm gonna get back to my initial tangent. I might take these out at some point when I decide to lube the stabilizers, but I might just deal with the dielectric grease or lube them in place. Just fine by me. It's again not optimal. It's not what you do if you wanted to get a keyboard from Glasses. But you know, so it goes. I'm not building this keyboard for anybody else but myself. All right. Oh, come on. Yeah, I've really become linear gang. I'm a big fan of linear switches. I use tactile switches for years. I have a Model M. I have a Topre keyboard, both of which are sort of renowned tactile keyboards, and I'm a big fan of them. But both of these are linears, and I'm a fan. And I'm also not some advanced enough typist that it particularly matters. I've not got stenographer speed at my typing. My words per minute are exceptionally modest, especially if I've not been fumbling everything. Especially if I've not been like specifically training. And like, I enjoy just doing typing tests and whatever else, but I don't do it all the time. Okay, tabs in. Let's get those bars. So I have a small brush here that I will use to spread a little bit of the dielectric grease on these bars, but I'm not going to be too ultra detail oriented. I'm just going to put a little dab on it. I'm going to spread it around a bit. This brush is actually not the best for it. Let's just make sure it's all everywhere. Wipe off the excess here. Okay. And I will insert that in here. Pop that in. Okay, so I got that done right. Let's go ahead and dab this one up. Oh, you know what? I am doing this wrong. Damn it. You're supposed to put the bars in before you assemble. Let's see if I can do this. I might be able to in this case just because it's not that. Oof. Okay, that worked. These others, I'm going to take one of the stabilizers out because, again, I haven't done this in a while and I don't remember what I'm doing. I'll just take one out. Makes it much easier. I will try for this one, dabbing a little bit of grease here and here on the stabilizer body itself. Is that slider on backwards? No. Come on. It's just missing. Okay. I will leave that popped out. Okay. And then on the other one, I'm going to slider back in. Come on. I'm going to try dabbing grease in here. Probably got more on that one than on the others, but so it goes. Right. Oh, need to redistribute this a little bit so that the grease is in the right place and it's actually going to be covering moving parts. Spread that a little more evenly. And now they work, and I can be happy with that. It's like I'm relearning how to do this all over again. I have not dealt with this in a while. I'm going to remind people of that excuse. So anyway, Teja, he has also built custom keyboards for a lot of YouTubers. Like I said, he started off as a software engineer and got into custom keyboards, as one does. And people really liked his keyboard assembly and typing videos. Like, I'm pretty sure he does typing ASMR, which not really my thing, but I appreciate it. I'm just not an ASMR guy. It's not something I seek out. One moment. I'm going to turn my ceiling fan up here because I'm kind of toasty. Hopefully this is not too noisy, but it is quite warm in here. And actually, I'm going to crack this. I've got a screened, I keep on calling it screened. I've got a sunroom back here. It used to be a porch. It's not the most insulated room, and so it gets chilly when the rest of the house doesn't. And I'll just go ahead and unbutton. All right, so I'm going to pop one of these. I'm doing this on this desk mat, which may not be ideal, but I'll live with it. And if I get this desk mat messy in some way or another, I can clean it because this is machine washable. This is just one of the glorious desk mats, which, given that this main desktop here, I've got an L desk, you can tell, this main desktop here is 80 by 30 inches. And so having this colossal, 24 by 48 or something, it's a very large desk mat. It's nice because, you know, I've got acres of mouse space, which now I'm crowding naturally. Okay, so grease. Going to hit the body, hit that a little bit. Go ahead and stabilizer bar in there. Hit it. Right, and then don't secure it yet. Going to same over here. All right. And we'll soon be through with the part that makes me feel the most incompetent in this hobby. I say that, but that's just because I opt not to even bother with lubing switches myself. Right, and snap that bar in. Okay, and now we just pop the screw back in and pretend like I did everything right first try. Oh, oh no. Oh, I did drop that one. Can I find it? Aha. Eagle eye here. Oh. There we go. So we got now my PCB with the stabilizers. Those are all that I'm going to need. Put the rest of these screws and washers back into the bag. And put that back in the bag with the rest of the stabilizers. And this I will put with the rest of my stocks. And hopefully I won't then forget about them and not be able to find the parts the next time I decide to use them. All right, so now with the plate, I believe I will be mounting switches. So let's go ahead and get started with some corner pieces. So I've got top right boy, which I can't even remember what the heck does a standard ANSI layout even look like? What goes there? It's been so long. The only keyboards I have on hand page up. No. Pause break. Okay. Well, who uses that anyway? All right, so I will pop this guy in here. Snap it there. Get our escape key. Pop it in the plate, and then secure it to the thing. The hot swap socket. So this one goes the most inboard for our bottom key, which I'm actually not quite sure how I'm going to map this one yet. And let's go ahead and get some more. And get to town. So arrow keys. It's funny. I remember when I first started working, I had a friend and I at my job, and we were both, this is like the weirdest and dorkiest way to introduce someone. We were both Vim users, among other things. And somehow the joke arose, I think it might have been due to some goofy Urban Dictionary definition on our boss's name, but uses arrow keys became a joke insult that we would use of the gravest order. Clearly, that's a very harsh accusation there, using arrow keys. And we found great humor in that. But anyway, actually now having a board with arrow keys that I will at the very least use in games is maybe the most exciting part about this board for me. I'll go ahead and just get this cluster over here. This part is luckily nice and easy, and these switches, even though they are 5-pin, I can make sure all the pins are straight. are working out rather well. And I think I'll probably at least start off, well, most of this cluster will remain standard. The F keys will remain standard. This is actually a board with an F13 key, so that's nice. I can map that to something. Maybe I'll have it do something in OBS. For a while when I was recording content more than, or making an attempt at recording stuff more than streaming things, I would have that as a start-stop recording, which it's nice to have that hotkeyed if you're trying to get a quick video of something you're doing and don't want to have to do a lot of editing. And you don't want to fill up your disk with overly large video files that, you know, most of which you're just going to delete. Okay. That guy's not straight. I'll do a full test of everything when I plug this in. Pins are straight. Pins look straight. Did I goof? There we go. That was a bit frustrating. All right, there we go. This is always such a satisfying part because this is every bit like building a Lego set, except you're also completing circuits. Okay, and we got 2 keys here, which these go upside down from the normal. I just want to make sure I get all the ones in my optional layout set up right. One of the nice things, though, about this kit that I think is one of the big things that sold me on it is it supports the layouts that I want, which, you know, what I want is not that exotic, but it might not be the most common. It's not like it's a combination of the most common options, like split backspace and split right shift. Basically having the HHKB and everything, but on an otherwise standard size board. Basically just wanting that. And it's all supported in hot swap. So these are standard hot swap layout. The 2 boards that I have on my desk here now, the one here, this is a soldered, I soldered this, and actually what I did, I really wanted hot swap. I'm a big fan, and one thing I do when I'm not necessarily, you know, trying to build new custom boards or everything, I do like trying out new switches on occasion. It's been a while, but I like having the ability to do so. And so because it was a solderable board, but I wanted hot swap sockets, I did I believe they're called hole tight. They make a socket which is just a little tube with a lip at the end that you solder into the sockets where the pins of these switches, the little metal contacts there. You just solder a tube into the board there, and then you can pop switches in and out and complete the circuit that way. So I got, you know, I can enjoy soldering, but soldering hot swap switches was a bit of an ordeal. It took way longer than I expected. I'm glad I did the project. I'm glad I learned from it. I don't know that I would choose to do it again, though. And also part of the reason is this. So you can get plenty of PCBs that support the HHKB layout that I have here that are hot swap already. But what I have in this, so it's a sandwiched acrylic board that is Oh yeah, I'm not doing split left shift. That's another British ISOism. That uses a board, a DZ60 board, which is a really standard 60% layout PCB, but it uses a specific version with a whole lot of flex cuts in it. And so, whereas you can see this board is a pretty solid sheet across the way, it has like relief cutouts in between all of the rows, which is, it allows a lot of flexibility in the board. And it's got a polycarbonate plate, which is also flexy, and it is a gasket mount. The subtle off-white. You know, actually, I was looking at one of the other boards that I did look at when I was checking that my order was about to arrive here, and then checking the rest of their page. So this is a E-coating, which is, I don't know exactly. I think it's electrolysis coating. It's a fancy type of coating, which is, among other things, I don't know if it's related to anodization or not. Among other things, it is able to give you a like brilliant bright white. It's not an off-white. It is a hard, durable, extremely bright white coloring. That said, one of the boards that I looked at when I was about to receive all of this has what they call an E off-white. So yeah, the subtle change in coloration there, you know, that's Paul Allen's board. I'm not gonna even, well, we'll do the mental math, I'll figure it out. Doing them mostly in order, but then go ahead and get the space bar. The key of honor. One of the nice parts about dealing with the aluminum plate here, I will admit, is that it with the aluminum plate, because it's a little stiffer, I'm not when I'm pressing switches in, it's not flexing the plate. With the polycarb plate and the flexible PCB here, it is so flexy in its, which I think you can probably, you can't really see there, but it's got a lot of give. And it doesn't show as much now because there's foam under it. This whole board is acrylic, but you can see there's a foam reflectivity piece under the circuit board there that causes it to not give entirely. But anyway, mounting stuff to that, I couldn't just push a switch through and have it snap in the board and the plate. It would push the plate down, and it was a whole pain in the butt. I do not have right now actually a foam between the plate and the PCB, which is not something I'm really concerned about. That's something people will put foams in all sorts of different parts of their keyboards in order to change the sound, mute it, or make it have a deeper sound profile or a higher sound profile, or whatever they prefer. There's a whole bunch of magic words thrown about, and some of them actually mean something with regards to keyboard sound quality and so on. All right, these are coming along. You're almost down to the bottom row, and I'm just going to check. I will find the keycaps that I need. so that I can mount the bottom row keys. This is coming along nice and smoothly. How long have I been at this? Oh, just an hour now. That is nice. So I realized I have more going on this evening when my PC showed up than I thought. I also got a, I'll probably, maybe I'll put it together after I'm done with the board right here. And maybe I'll do that on stream as well. An orrery, a sort of diorama of planets, sort of as a joke, but I'd like to put it together. All right, so here is my big old loud yellow spacebar, 7U. All right, and I want to get, so this is a 1.5U, that goes there, and so if I put a switch, okay, that's the one. See that? Yep, that looks correct. And then this guy, I think it'll be the right side up, or no. Okay. All right. So those stabilizers grip onto that spacebar pretty firmly. Okay, 2 more switches, and those go directly in the center of the other 2. I'm going to use a 1.5, 1.5U layout on the bottom here. The Tsengen is called configuration. Right. And this one goes upright. Okay, everything's good here. What I will now do is use this O-ring, and this mounts by going around circuit board and the switches. Okay. Interesting how it puts pressure right around the USB here. That rubber band that I just put on sort of weighs in there. It pushes in a little bit. But you'll see that the plates, or the plate and the circuit board and the switches are basically holding this in place. So if I took this corner, if I took one of these corner switches out, the rubber band would sort of come in on it, which is, you know, not ideal, but it's just a sacrifice made for this design of what is called a gasket mounted keyboard. And the reason I want to do this is because it will then be a overall softer typing keyboard. It'll essentially provide some suspension for this. So rather than being an ultra rigid thing, like typing directly on the table, it's got some give under the keys. So moving on, next, I think I can see, does this just sit in here? Actually, wonder if I want to not use this rubber. I don't know if this is sorbothane or something. I've used sorbethane on other boards and it does mute them nicely. I actually have some on this this board over here, which is a Tokyo 60. It's applied rather crudely to that board, but the Tokyo 60 itself is already a very, I wouldn't say harsh, because it doesn't really bother me, and that sounds really negative. It doesn't bother me or strike me in that way. Okay, that has some give. I'll tinker with that. And again, it's the first build of a board. I might try it a bunch of different ways in the coming time. And so now, go ahead and put this top plate back on. Flip upside down. These screws back in. These are back to being hex, and so I will find wherever this Phillips head came from and hopefully never have to use it. Well, never again, but not anytime soon. Surely that's too big. Let's see, is this the one? That is the one. All right. And I will just leave these as tight as this gets them without forcing it. Come on. There we go. I can tell that the battery in this is not 100% charged, and so maybe I'll charge it again. But again, oh, I'll charge it. I was going to say I don't plan on using it anytime soon, and when I have it on my desk, it just becomes another thing to fidget and play with, which is somewhat distracting. But that's a personal malfunction. All right, 4 more. Second to last. And final screw. And then I'll just go around and test them all one more time. All right. Come on. There we go. Everything is all screwed together. Technically, I have a functioning keyboard now. This guy's actually kind of heavy. There's no, I meant to call out earlier, there is a nice little, I don't know if it's embossed or whatever, or engraved or whatever, in the bottom case. But on the outside of the case, there's nothing really. And I now realize, it says Freebird right there. I think you can pick it out on the camera. One last time. These are the feet. I was thinking, are these gaskets? Because the rubber, the O-ring there is supposed to be the gasket. And they are. These are feet. All right. That'll just make it sit a little more securely on the desk. All right. There we go. One more. And then to the fun part, which is keycaps. Okay. Very nice. Again, like I said, I already have a fully functioning keyboard at this point. Interestingly, the SA profile, I can orient it towards this. You can see that is a symmetric spacebar. It does not have a cant where it's used one way or another. It's just part of the profile. Go ahead and mount that. I think these loud colors are really going to sort of pop on this colorway. Right, and I got a control, which I am putting here intentionally. This is just part of my goofy layout. I'm quirky like that. All right. Just place them as I pull them out. All right, and D. Z, X, C, V, B, and M. Page down. I've still got this Wikipedia layout here, which is just goofy to me. Like, I type on a keyboard every day. I'm a touch typist, and I still forget where stuff goes if I'm not thinking about it. Especially since on this compact board I've got, you know, my particular way. All right, so 1 second. It's not super rattly. Obviously, I'm not ASMR mic'd up, and so it's not really clear what this sounds like. I might move the mic in a little closer when I start actually typing on it. But it sounds pretty decent to me. All right. And I love the colors here. I don't need that control. Actually, that is the right profile end, because this does have what is, oh, this is so this control key, this is actually for does it not say on the inside? It doesn't say what row it's for. This is one of the things I do, and one of the things I also really like about the Happy Hacking keyboard layout is having control in the traditional, well, the now traditional caps lock location. I'm actually someone who uses caps lock a fair amount, but I have no problem putting it under a function layer. And I think this real estate is way too useful to dedicate to a key like that. All right, so S here, make sure it's oriented right. Right. ZXCV. Come on. These are definitely PWB, quite sturdy keys, and they are grippy on the switches. I'm searching for words here. Yes, just a word modifier here. There's no symbol on it. I don't think I have symbol keys. All right, so 3. It'll be interesting. One of the things I'm curious about switching back to the my F13 key, which is a nice sort of like teal-ish color. I really like that. I realized that the color doesn't come across with perfect accuracy here. There's a very attractive key there. That is a separate page down. I will sort out what is colored correctly and not. Oh, let's see, 2. Oh, interesting. Looks like there might be a bit of a molding issue with this key. So, let's see, can you see there? It looks like there's a little chip in the bottom. It looks like that's just how it came out of the mold. I'll remember that. It's not going to show in common use, and I don't think it's compromising the key in any way, so I'm not worried about it, but I'll remember it. This was, you know, not a cheap keycap set. It certainly wasn't the most expensive one out there because I'm not crazy enough to be spending 100 or whatever on I actually have no idea how much GMK kits go for these days. Man, I can't tell. I'm gonna have to look up these arrow keys and find out which orientation they're supposed to have, because I'm not familiar again with the SA profile that these keycaps are using. SA standing for, actually don't know, but it's a keycap profile. It's spherical. It was invented by originally made by Signature Plastics. Okay, I think where my tilde goes. W in. Oh, one of those is backwards. That is the end that is backwards. I have in here the keycap remover. The typeface on this is not, I mean, I guess in is a key that can be inverted, but the typeface doesn't indicate to me either. Yeah. All right. I've somehow crowded myself out of this death space on this giant death. Put my other spacebar and this enter key back. Short shift key over here. Good. F5 is like this sort of salmon pink. And I think the other F keys in that cluster of 4 are F6. Either F7 or F8. 8, 7. It is just now starting to become visible what's basically going on, and I'm really liking it here. Okay. There's definitely a lot of ping on this space bar, but there's a lot of resonance inside a cap of this size, and I'm not too worried about it. That's not a big deal to me. You have a bunch of different options for shift keys. Here's the big backspace. Here's the small backspace. That is the one we want. All right, nice and secure. One thing about this is they do fit very securely. So yeah, another thing it supports is a stepped caps lock, which is pretty cool. It's not a key I want to use, but it's cool that it supports it, I guess. For a set that's going to be expensive like this, it's nice to have a lot of options. Okay, super. One thing I had thought, because what I want to do is I want these symbol keys here, these 1Us, I want them to remain function keys, because I want essentially it to be, if I'm using this keyboard and I want to use it exactly like this, I can. So I'm still going to have function HHKL as layers, or as a layer for arrow keys. But I wasn't sure what to do in the corners that were coming back. In the same way that I guess I'll probably map this key to delete again. Although I guess not, because there's delete in the cluster over here. I'll find out. So, got my little purple FN key. Do I have another one? Maybe not. I'll figure that out later. Right, F3. F3 in the just gorgeous blue color here. All right. Come on. I'll have quicker access to all my macros and keybinds in older games. I was actually just thinking recently about playing Morrowind again, and I remember when I played it, I was always quick on the F5 for quick save, F9 for quick load. You know, it should be very obvious to me which way is up and down, but all right. Oh no, that's, I literally just looked at the other key. I'm not firing on all cylinders right now. I just came back from Christmas break and I should be more rested, but maybe I'm just not quite back in the swing of things yet. I only took 4 days off at Christmas, which not a whole lot, and I won't say it's not ideal. It was still a good break to have, but escape key. Naturally, the escape key is red. I'm taking a bigger break at New Year's, and the nice thing about so my setup, she's gonna do all right. She's probably gonna get messed up by the backspace and by the control key if she really wants to do that shift key is also not in the right place. She's not going to like the control key where it is, especially if she's someone who tends to use backspace. But if she's someone who tends to use backspace, maybe she shouldn't, or tends to use caps lock. And if she tends to use caps lock, maybe she shouldn't. Maybe she should not reply all. I think it would be pretty usable. There'd be a couple things that would be confusing, and because it's not explicitly written anywhere, it won't be obvious. But for like general typing and casual use, I think it would be actually not that big of a deal. I like to keep mostly standard, and a lot of the keyboard interaction I do is keybinds and programs rather than the keyboard itself being customized. So, got this code key here. Is it I? I'm interested in this profile. Right now, I do have the MT3 set on this, which is a different keycap profile, but they are spherical as well, which means that the keys are scooped not just this way, but forward and backwards as well. Whereas if you look at your keyboard, desktop keyboard, laptop keyboard would tend to be flat anyway. Desktop keyboards are often scooped side to side, but not forward to backward. And so they're what they call a cylindrical profile. All right. That in there. Okay. Where my numbers at? I'm going to start putting more numbers in because that is starting to seem more pressing. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Had the 0 here for a while. 1. 4, 6. I'm now actually starting to feel, as I'm pressing in more of these keys in the sort of center of the board, the words that I'm searching for. As I press in the keys in the center of the board, I'm starting to feel more of the give that they have. Okay. A little bit of that. I've luckily avoided getting sick at all across the winter, but I still end up getting just seasonal sniffles. And so I've just been going through boxes of Kleenex like nothing else. Another thing I like to have that I might actually move, I might move, I might not, is I have under a function layer volume controls. And so I just hold down this function key, and I can do it with either hand, and plus or minus, I can turn the volume up or down on my computer. I also have music controls mapped under there, which is really nice. And I could maybe use the function keys for that, the FN keys. I don't know. I don't really know what I want to do. I can find out. There's plenty of time. Okay. What else do we have? Put these keys over. Am I missing? No. I need to find the R. Oh, I'm just blind. Now I need to do the same thing for F. I don't think any of the standard keys were specially colored, and I don't think I dropped any. Oh, they are. Oh, that's right. So J and F are special keys. So they, you can sort of even see the shaping here. They have an additional level of scoop. Now you'll notice on a lot of regular desktop keyboards, F and J will have a little nub on the bottom. And that's so that if you're a touch typist and you go to the home row, you know where you are, because you can tell by feel. And so these here as well have a lot of scoop, and I can tell where I am just by feel. I don't have to look at my hands and say, hey, what am I touching right now? Okay, so I have this one FN key. I need to figure out what I'm putting on the bottom row. I think I know what I'm going to do, but I just need to make sure. Interesting. I wonder if these are the same. So these are both labeled FN. And what I do, as you can see on this board kind of, so this key right here is FN. That is my function 2. And so I have a couple special things that I don't use all the time mapped under that. This and this key, these are my standard, they're function 1. And they're used for stuff I use all the time. And I like it here because I have a left and a right. And so I can say, all right, function 1, function 9. But I can also one-hand it and say like function 1. And it's just, that's just how I do things. It's just a preference that I have. Okay. So let's continue and get these last few keys. So we got F9. One of these is F11. Who's this guy? Insert. Insert. And delete. So here I have 3 different delete profile keys. This one, I'm not sure actually where that goes. That might go on a numpad. Well, no, because I don't have a numpad kit here. I don't know where that one goes. So we have a very tall one, I think goes here, and a not quite as tall one, which goes here. And that matches the end and page down. Okay, so we need a taller page up. All right. So for my function 1 key, I'm going to use this one labeled code. And then for the corners, I'm going to call these super, which is, super is often used to refer to the Windows key. Often it's in a lot of more neutral, non-OS specific layouts. So on Macs, it's the Apple or the Command key. But in general, or if it's Linux or you got a more neutral labeled or sold keyboard, it's not going to have a Windows logo. It's not going to have a Mac logo. It's probably super. Or they just put a symbol on it and they call it that in the mapping software. Blow my nose once more. I'll take a drink of water. Because again, when we're working and talking, I've been getting thirsty. Got this out here earlier so that I'd have something to drink. Ah, all right, much better. Okay, so arrow keys. So where are I have arrow keys that are literally words: up, down, left, right. And these are the bottom row profile, and so they're symmetric. So I'm going to use the symbolic left, right keys here. Maybe does this match? I'll check that later. Green is down, yellow is up, left or right or orange. That is, I can already see the Toho action happening here. Purple or red function here. It's a tough call because I got red below, but I got purple right here. I think for now I'm going to go with the red, and then this top row here, which right now the print, screen, scroll, lock, pause, break. Where's the print? So print. These are actually a color that I have not seen anywhere else on the board. So there is this light green that's used several places. It's used for the number row. It's used for home, end, and down. This is obviously a darker green, you can see in comparison. So yet another color for the set. Oh, so you say purple function. All right, I'll go with that. And I can always swap it out later if I decide I want to do the others. All right, so print, lock. What is that layout? Print, lock, pause, break. Print, lock, pause. Which maybe, so another thing that I've got that I think I'm going to start using shortly is a PSP emulator. So I obviously tried, I tried a little while ago to stream Metal Gear Acid, which is a PSP title. And I had prior set up everything to and verified that the PSP showed up on my screen, that it showed up on my capture card, and everything looked like it was working. And then when the time came to stream, it was like, oh, the battery's low or the battery was dead. So I'll just charge it. I'll just leave it plugged in while I'm playing, which is fine because I'm sitting here at my desk playing. I don't need the PSP to be mobile. It's cool that it is, but I don't need it. And so what I ended up doing is plugging it in, and then all of a sudden I could not get the capture to work. I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I wrestled with that for about 45 minutes or so, and then finally gave up. And about 15 minutes later, I found out, oh, the capture doesn't work. The video output doesn't work while the DC in is plugged in, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But anyway, and I don't know if that's because of the firmware on my PSP or not, but because I was able to get a rooted PSP or one with custom firmware or whatever already installed, I was able to just back up the UMDs, which right now is just Metal Gear Acid and Metal Gear Acid 2. And I have a PSP emulator, and so I might as well just use that. And with that, I gain the ability to use save states and various other things. And on top of that, it looks better than capturing video output from the PSP. And I get to use a normal size controller rather than the PSP itself. So let's see, does this key here... Oh, this is just the... no, that's just the British key. Okay. I think we'll just have to put delete there for the time being. I don't think there actually is another key to go there. So right now I have a delete here and a delete here. Visually speaking, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. So make sure everything is, before I get to even mock typing on it, make sure everything is securely. Yes, I notice. So up on this row, there's not a lot of give. Here, there's definitely a lot of give. And that makes sense given where the O-ring was mounted and how it all works. So I think this key, this does not exist on American keyboards. This, I believe, on your keyboard will be over here on this shift, because your shift key is not the same width. On an ISO keyboard, in the same way that you've got the tall ISO enter key. This is just another one of the differences, and I actually have a smaller shift key to go along with that. But again, that's not the layout I need. If I really wanted, I could have this be a different function key, this be a different function key, this be a different function key, and have the split shift. I could have both split shift, which would be just really wacky, and I don't think there's a reason to do it, especially on something that's not... This isn't that limited. I've got plenty of keys on this board. So I'm going to... But yeah, the angle brackets are a ISO-ism. So maybe all Euros have them, but I don't. Put away our extras. I'm kind of curious. With the arrow keys, whether I want the symbol arrow keys here or the up, down, left, right keys. But I think I'll go with the symbols for now. And I have extras. I'll probably use these, fairly heavily, so also I doubt they'll break. I doubt they will break But in the event that they do, I have backups. These seem like very sturdy keys, and I have not broken keyboard keys in some time. The only time I actually have is like breaking the stems on really sort of low-end keycaps. All right, so I'm going to put this all away. These extra switches I think I'm going to use to build a numpad or something, maybe a smaller, but again, I also have backups in case any of the switches are defective. So I'll actually keep those on hand right here. Throw out the bags of extra stuff. The foam I will keep. Actually, let's see how this fits in this bag. Does this fit best with the foam on? I think it does. So I will keep this piece of foam around for travel if I ever want to take these. Every time I've been back to the office, it's been only a handful of times since I started working there. So I started working this job in March of 2020, and then 2 weeks later, everything went fully remote. And we thought, oh, we'll be back in a week or two. So I even had some stuff left in the office. I've been back to actually work a full work day just a handful of times. And just haven't needed to otherwise. But I will keep that in case I want to take this anywhere, or if I want to take my computer somewhere. I have the option now. So, soon, the moment of truth. I believe I have the mapping software manager on this, or installed on this computer. So this is a KeebsForAll branded, and it seems to be a fairly high quality USB-C cable. It's just not particularly attractive or memorable, which, you know, again, for me, my tastes is completely fine. I am not at all upset about that. All right. Just recognized it. Oh, I was about to use this, so let's see. Maybe I will swap. Let's see. Okay, let me swap to a different scene real quick. Or actually, I'm going to be playing with come on. Detect my keyboard. I hope this is actually a VIA mount mappable keyboard. If it's not, I'll call the stream now and says QMK and via Ray. So let's see, maybe I just need to update my version. Ah, so I can use it online. So I will actually add a browser source here. Well, I'll just capture the window. And I'll have my other keyboard on the other window. And then, let's see. Come on. Maybe I'll remove this. Now it's just playing with OBS, the stream. I did not prepare this. I thought VIA would capture well. And I just didn't think to add this. Add a browser. And then I'll leave it at pretty small. Okay. Be back in business shortly. Okay. All right, interact. There we go. We'll do it this way. Oh. Okay, yeah. That'll do for now. You'll let me interact. Not gonna authorize? Oh, come on. Okay. One more try to get the... Oh, let me download. I was accidentally getting input from this keyboard anyway. Maybe it's... Oh, come on. Okay. You gonna play dirty with me, Windows? I don't care about the shortcut. I want to know where the shortcut points to. Come on. Oh, this is a pain in the butt. GitHub release page. There we go. They really made me, gave me the runaround for that. We're installing. And we've got it. Okay. So let's kill this browser input. Add window capture. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to be laying out my keyboard. But first, we'll do the key tester. So the nice thing here is I can just say boom, 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 boom. Let me see. Interesting. The bottom row is 7U, right? Split backspace, split right shift, key tester. So this is, so I want to do the matrix tester actually, which is, and I've had it before where the first time I plugged something in, there were switches not working, and usually you just need to pop it out and pop it back in and check the contacts. But it looks like I might have got things right in the first try here. These are very light switches, which I like, but again, they're really light. Okay, so I'm actually going to look at, pull up their web app so that I can look at the configuration for my other keyboard so that I can essentially copy what I'm doing. So this is left alt, that's correct. This is going to be right control. This is going to be right windows. This is going to be left windows for now. So yeah, that works. This is going to be layers. TT1. Oh, come on. We good? You gonna give it to me? That's interesting. Maybe is it because I don't have anything on the other layers? Let's see what I'm going to do here. I don't need... So I have RGB controls on the other, which I never use because I pretty much always, when I have a RGB lit keyboard, leave it off. There's some cool RGB, totally. It's just not my thing. So function this should be insert because that is delete right now. So, you know, we'll let it be that. Why are you not letting me map anything? Nothing is changing mapping. Oh, it's because it connected to the other one. Damn it. I just wanted to read the layout of the other board. Okay. Let's see if I fixed it here. No? Let me... Let me try to pop it up again. Can I? All right, so I can use the board now. Oh, because that's not backspace yet. That's one thing I want to change quickly. Backspace, backspace, backspace. And this should be pipe. This should be delete. This is function TT1. This is TT1. That's R-Win. That's right shift. That is TT2, I believe, in my TT3. So I'm not going to remember this entire layout immediately, but so it goes. It's fine. And this is really, I want to get the major players in control. So this is left control. So I do have a left control and right control. This should be left alt. I don't have a right alt. That's fine. I don't need it. I don't really need a Windows key on both sides. But so it goes. All right. What else did I want from this layer? That looks right. RGB controls I don't need. Yeah, I'll do volume up and down. So volume up, volume down, mute makes sense to me. Volume down, volume up, rather. Mute. And then for the bracket keys, those will be the previous next. Very good. What is QKTO? There's so much you can do with the layering and the different inputs on this. It's really impressive, and it's amazing how easy it is with VIA here. Okay. Been standing this time. I might. Oh, that's right. I wanted to do home, page down, page up, end. Print. That's right. This I wanted to be print screen because I use that in Steam. Or so. Home, page down, page up, end. And that sort of reflects the arrow keys in Vim, which are here. Left, down, up, right. And that's really nice because your hand doesn't have to leave the home row. You just switch over to HHKL and you have left, down, up, right, as long as you're on the right function layer or using the right program that uses those mappings. Which for me, most of the time is the text editor Vim. All right. That's right. This was Mac 1. I don't remember what that macro is, and I will look that up later. This I had mapped to a Windows key, but I don't need that anymore. So I want to find what the UKTO that I had was. I think that was basically toggling to be on the base layer. Could be mistaken. I don't see it in here right now. So I'm gonna not, it's not one that I used frequently. So I'm not gonna muck around with it. I don't really need, oh, that's right. I wanted, this to be F12. Although I don't need that anymore because I have an actual F12. So I think having these set for now might be just fine. Really, again, the things I really wanted was this key being backspace. Just super handy. Oh, that's right. This was supposed to be macro 2. No, not here. Layer 3. This is macro 2, and this is macro 0. I had attempted essentially to replicate some interesting control schemes in this. Oh yeah, and I want this to be, I'll actually do it with the F13. This is sleep, which is really handy. That here. Is the sleep button a normal keyboard button? I'm not actually sure. I don't think it is. Yeah. Not a layer thing. Okay. And then I'll make the escape wake under that situation. Not going to test that one now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that as, yeah, Freebird TKL. Works for me. So what I will do now is I will add a browser source and I will try some monkey type. Just real briefly, just going to try it ever so shortly, and then I think I'll wrap up the stream here. Yeah, just over 2 hours now. That's sort of what I was planning for. I thought I might get to assembling the other thing I got to. I think I'm going to do that off stream, just so that I can also spend some time getting my new PC ready. One of the joyous things, so I had to be around to sign for the package, and they actually brought it at first on either Christmas Eve or the day before. And I wasn't like, I was awake to hear the doorbell ring, but I was like, oh, it's just a delivery, doorbell ring, whatever. And then I found the sorry we missed you tag. And only then did I find out, oh, that was actually the PC. I didn't expect it to arrive on the 24th. Because actually, originally it was supposed to ship on the 22nd. And they were like, oh, we're sorry, it's going to be late. So I didn't think by late it meant just one day. Because I ordered it like over a month ago. I was prepared to wait because I know graphics cards are hard to get. And it's a big investment. I wasn't in a rush for it. But apparently it shipped the day after, and then it arrived the next day, which is I mean, I'm used to getting fast shipments because I'm near an Amazon distribution facility, but that was really fast. So I was pretty happy about that. Anyway, it arrived, and Origin, who I bought from, ships in wooden boxes, like old-timey kind of, but I guess it's like, oh, technically it's more protected because you've got plywood instead of cardboard. But the box was kind of really beat up in travel. And she was like, do you want to sign for this? Are you okay with this? And I was like, it looks like everything's fine on the inside because it's not just the box. It's got foam and everything. And it doesn't look like anything fell out. I'll sign for it and I'll get in contact with Origin if there actually is something missing. You know, it is what it is. Okay, anyway. Browser source. There we go. Oh. Go ahead and interact here. Can I change? One. Ooh. I like the theme that I have now, but I what? What? No. I'd love to have ad settings off. You mean I can just turn ads off? That's awesome. Okay, I just want it to be slightly. No, that's not who I wanted to resize. I wanted to resize this guy. Oh my god, man. I'm just having a time of it today. There we go. Okay. Now I just need it to be not transparent. Okay. Come on, dim the background. What's the deal? Let me check in one other browser. That's not the mapping I wanted. Oh, that's one thing I needed to do in the mapping. Let me throw up. One more thing is I want function space to be caps lock. That is something that I have grown used to. And yeah, that's just what I do now. You know what? what is the setting here? Dark overlay. That is what I want. There we go. Okay, I'll do that now. And I'll just do a couple tests of monkey type. So, all right. All good, all good, all good. Tab plus enter, restart test. Okay, so we got one test. I'll do one standing and I'll do one or two sitting, and then that'll be it. All right. Okay. Yeah, 93. That's kind of what I expect. I thought I'd actually get a little lower because of the mistakes I made there, but that's sort of my jam. You see it's slightly spiky, not super impressive. Raw WPM got up to just shy of 120. It spiked it peaked at 120 there for a bit. So if I'm going really good, I'm a maybe 120 guy. But normally I'm a little south of 100. Anyway, like I said, lower the standing desk. Bring the gamer chair back over. Oh, it's nice to sit down after a little bit of time. And yeah, try another. Come on. Oh. Come on. Oh, I want another test. How do I do that? All right. Yeah, a little more consistent there. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't peak quite as high, but that was a lot more, well, say a lot. And more errors. Fix them. All right. We'll try again. Damn, I'm fucking up. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Try one more time. Because that didn't count as a good one. Yeah. So I might not have the highest consistency score according to this. I guess you can't see my cursor here. Might not have the highest consistency score according to this, but I'm, you know, the WPM itself ends up fairly consistent when I'm really actually typing at it. So anyway, gotta say, so far I'm a fan. I don't know that it was mic'd up all that well, but I also don't have an audio setup to really mic this up, and I don't think I want to keep typing at this tonight. Just I could hammer away on monkey type for hours if I get distracted with it. But I got other stuff I got to take care of. Yeah, I actually like the sound of the board. It's nice. Like I said, I left a silicone mat out of the bottom. Maybe I'll try it with that mat in. It feels pretty nice. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm going to try. The real test is going to be playing a shoot 'em up or playing Caves of Cud and seeing if I get a hang of that. So that's going to be the real test, and we'll see. I'm going to try to stream at some point. I'm going to find a place for these screws. I'm going to go ahead and put them in. Unfortunately, I don't really have another place bag with stuff from this board going away. I'll put them into the stabilizers. I'm going to try to stream again. It might not be this week, but maybe on the weekend I will stream some. Like I said, I think I'm going to play... I think the plan is still probably to play Metal Gear Acid. If my spirit changes again, I might do Metal Gear Solid 4 instead, but right now the plan is Acid. Like I said, I'm going to be doing it with an emulator this time from my UMD that I purchased that I dumped. And yeah, next week I have off, and so I will probably stream a good bit then. I don't know the times, but I want to spend some time being lazy and playing a shitload of video games, and that seems like a good fun way to do it. So anyway, yeah, I don't expect to be typing up a real fancy review of this or anything, but I like the board so far, and for something that I spent a good deal of money on, I'm happy with it so far. Especially with, again, unlubricated keys and only the most crudely lubricated stabilizer bars. Yeah, custom keyboards have come a long way. If even an idiot like me can put together a half-decent custom board. So anyway, until next time, signing out.